Oh yeah. Vincent van Gogh. You know him, I know him, we all know him. He's the guy who did the painting of the starry night sky, which is aptly named Starry Night. Some viewers, I imagine, roll their eyes when they hear me utter his name. Now, I don't know all that much about Vincent van Gogh. I had to look up his date of birth, which is March 30th, 1853. He's Dutch, that much is very clear. His cause of death, injury sustained from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest on July 29th, 1890. These are facts. They are little bits of information about the great and long dead artist, and it is these little bits of information that mean next to nothing. Now, obviously, that's just my opinion. It's like my spicy take, and maybe you disagree with me, so I'll add that if you do disagree with me, let me know in the comments. My point, though, is similar to one that was made by the French writer Marcel Proust. Quote, "Only through art can we emerge from ourselves and know what another person sees." And it's for this reason that I'm making this video. Could I do a mini documentary where I talk at great lengths about the minutia of Van Gogh's everyday life? Yeah, I probably could. But while I was doing research for this video, what I found more or less led me to believe that so many people have made detailed videos about great artists' lives that I might as well only focus on the art side of things and how Van Gogh's art informs my own artistic approach. So that's what I'm trying to do today. It's what I'm going to try to do in the future with the videos that come out about Van Gogh. I'm trying to put together a little playlist, which maybe sounds silly, but nevertheless, that's what I'm going to do today. Hopefully, I don't put you to sleep. Like I say in almost all of my videos, I'm a second-year graduate student at Johns Hopkins University, where I teach reading and writing intensive undergraduate literature courses. Which is to say that I'm interested in fiction and poetry and storytelling more generally, and that's really what led me to the creation or the idea of today's video. I'm interested in telling my own stories someday, but for now, I'm content with learning and studying, and I think Van Gogh is an artist worth learning from, regardless of the criticisms one might level against him or his work, or the popularity of his work, or like the kind of weird, sometimes cringe cult following he has. Okay, so, that's good. How does Van Gogh tell stories? Surely we have some idea of what his style is, but how did he use that world-famous style to create beautiful works of art that are undoubtedly his own? These are the questions that I'm going to be addressing in today's video. I'll say quickly, my best friends / video editors and I want to thank you for watching, and I'll say that if you like anything you see, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. It really helps us out. Okay, admittedly, I am not a painter. I write short stories and poems, and someday I want to write a great big novel, or maybe 2 or 10. That being said, I am ill-equipped to talk about painterly terms. Lighting? Perspective? Something else that sounds official, or like a painter would say it? I'm a lost ship in rough seas. My feet are wet. What I can talk about, though, is the story that's being communicated, or the details that make a piece of visual art beautiful. I can talk about some of the craft elements of storytelling, which might normally be associated only with literature, and this, I think, and I hope, will be interesting. So I'll ask the question, how does Van Gogh communicate a story to his viewer? The most obvious answer, at least in my mind, is with squiggly lines. This is more or less what Vincent van Gogh is known for. People, even halfway familiar with his work would likely be able to identify a painting as Van Gogh's based only on the style of the given painting. And I think that's worth knowing because it says something important about art that goes far beyond any single painting, even beyond visual art. It gets us talking about the unique stylistic decisions that artists make. So Van Gogh's got these famous squigglies that are recognizably his own. That's pretty cool, but why do I think it's pretty cool? To answer this question, I'm going to tell a story about the most famous painter of the 20th century, Pablo Picasso, who is not Vincent van Gogh. You're right. So hopefully I can manage to stay on track and like tie this back in. There's a famous story, maybe it's just a myth, maybe it isn't, who knows, not me. Anyways, supposedly Picasso wept while handling a camera that could take colored pictures. And he wept the way only Picasso could weep. And he said, "What's the purpose of painting now that we have colored photographs?" So did he actually say that? Did he actually weep? Who knows? Who cares? Not me. I said that. Anyways, legend has it that after he stopped weeping, Picasso's artistic approach endured a radical transformation. He began working with the intention of creating paintings that were styled, for lack of a better word, to do what only a painting could do. And I think that's cool. Honestly, when I first heard that story, it gave me a greater appreciation for Picasso's work and for abstract art more generally that was kind of planned or had some serious intention behind it. But I'm not saying anything mind-bending. At least I don't think I am. A painting can be something more than a photograph. That's interesting, but it's not like, you know, I'm not shifting paradigms over here. But why did I tell you this story? I told you because I want to communicate what I most love about Van Gogh's style, which I guess is technically called impasto, which we can define as, quote, the process or technique of laying on paint or pigment thickly so that it stands out from a surface, which is what I love about Van Gogh's style is that it's unique to his hand. Obviously, there are reproductions and there are imitators. There are people who have learned from him and who have aimed to give his style a home in their own work. I'm sure people did it before him and they'll continue to mimic his style long after him, but I don't think that changes the beauty of it. And that's really what I'm trying to communicate. To directly connect this back to the Picasso story, Van Gogh's paintings aren't an exact recreation of objects we might find in the real world. They aren't photographs, and they don't try to be photographs. And I think this has something to do with their popularity, because instead they are the real world filtered through the artistry of the painter, of Van Gogh in this case. And I think this highlights a point that anyone interested in any craft that requires even an ounce of creativity can learn from, whether it's business or engineering or medicine or, I don't know, something in the humanities, the arts, whatever. Maybe it isn't possible to define what great art is, but I will shoot my shot anyway. I think great art is reality that's been carefully distilled through, I guess, the soul of another person. And I think it's this distillation that resonates with us. It's why billions of people over the last century or so have admired Van Gogh's work and great artists like him. And the lesson that I'm trying to communicate is this: if you're trying to create or monetize a creative product, be it creative writing or carpentry or building a computer or a car or gardening, whatever it might be, the task at hand is twofold. So to use carpentry as an example, the task is twofold because a carpenter literally has to build, you know, let's say a chair. So there's like a baseline competency that's difficult to achieve. You know, building a chair isn't easy because let's think about it. How many people want to buy a chair built by somebody who doesn't know what a chair is? How many people? Not many, I would guess. But the second fold is the ability to not just build a chair, but to again add a little personal flair to what a chair can be while still maintaining, I guess, the functional utility of a chair. And in the case of chair building, I think that can be as simple as edge work or the kind of wood being used to build with, whatever. But let's bring this back to Van Gogh. His style humanizes the subject of his painting in a way that's uniquely his own doing. And this, I think, is worth understanding because it's something that can help us every single time we tell a story, regardless of whether or not it's for some creative passion project or when we're at work talking with our boss or out for coffee with someone we want to date. Van Gogh's paintings, much like the words we use to communicate throughout the day, tell stories. So what I hope to learn from spending time with Van Gogh's work is an understanding of storytelling that transcends his art form and becomes universal, becomes useful for my own writerly pursuits. I think spending time with the work of great artists, no matter the art form, can enrich our lives and make us better storytellers across the board. That's what I'm doing, at least, and that's what I'm planning on doing in the upcoming videos, which I hope you'll stick around for. We're gonna throw together a little playlist. Hopefully it'll be worth your time. We'll see how it goes. All right, but that's everything I've got for today's video. Before you go, I want to say that if you found this video interesting or useful in any way, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to my friends and I, and let us know what you think in the comments down below. And finally, I want to thank you, my wonderful viewer, for sticking with me to the end. I hope I was able to make something for you that was worthwhile and engaging and kind of interesting. All right, thank you again, both viewers and editors alike. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.